Immanuel Kant's The Critique of Pure Reason is a foundational philosophical work that explores the limits and scope of human reason. Kant argues that human knowledge is shaped by both sensory experience and the inherent structures of the mind. He distinguishes between two types of knowledge: a priori, which is independent of experience, and a posteriori, which is derived from it. Kant's central question is how much we can truly know and understand about the world, given that our understanding is mediated by both reason and experience. In this work, Kant proposes a Copernican revolution in philosophy, suggesting that objects of knowledge must conform to the way our minds perceive and structure them, rather than the mind merely reflecting external objects. This leads to the concept of transcendental idealism, where space and time are seen as necessary conditions of perception, rather than inherent properties of things in themselves. The world as we experience it is, therefore, shaped by the mind's categories and frameworks. Kant also makes a key distinction between phenomena, things as they appear to us, and noumena, things in themselves. While we can know phenomena, we cannot have direct knowledge of noumena, as they lie beyond the bounds of human experience. This places limits on what human reason can achieve, particularly in areas like metaphysics, where Kant argues that speculation about the nature of God, freedom, and immortality falls outside the scope of reason. A major portion of the Critique of Pure Reason is devoted to analyzing how human cognition works. Kant breaks down the process of understanding into the roles of intuition, concepts, and judgments. He argues that the mind actively organizes sensory data into coherent experiences using categories like causality, substance, and unity. This challenges the prevailing notion that knowledge is a mere passive reception of sensory input. Ultimately, Kant concludes that reason, while powerful, has limits. It can organize and make sense of experience, but cannot fully grasp things beyond experience. This has profound implications for the boundaries of science, metaphysics, and theology. By setting these limits, Kant aims to preserve space for faith and moral reasoning, which operate in areas beyond the realm of empirical knowledge. Life lessons from the Critique of Pure Reason: embrace the limits of knowledge. Kant teaches us that human knowledge is bounded by experience and the structures of our mind. Recognizing these limits helps us avoid overconfidence in areas where certainty is unattainable, encouraging intellectual humility. Understand the active role of the mind. The mind is not a passive receiver of information, but actively structures the way we perceive the world. This reminds us that our perspective on reality is shaped by our mental frameworks, urging us to be mindful of our biases and perceptions. Value both reason and experience. Kant balances reason and experience, showing that both are essential to understanding the world. This encourages a more holistic approach to life, where intuition, empirical evidence, and rational thought all play crucial roles. Recognize the limits of science and metaphysics. By distinguishing between phenomena and noumena, Kant suggests that not everything is knowable or explainable by science. This lesson is a reminder to accept that some aspects of life, like faith, love, and morality, may lie beyond empirical analysis. Seek moral clarity beyond reason. While Kant limits the scope of reason in matters of metaphysics, he leaves room for moral reasoning and faith. Life requires us to make ethical choices that cannot always be grounded in pure logic, urging us to cultivate wisdom and a moral compass.